Hi, Leo, and welcome to your teen love tarot card reading. I'm going to do a spread today called How Do They Feel About You? So, this is for the month of Teen Leo. I'm going to do it in the form of a Celtic cross spread. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay down the cards and we're going to talk about this. How do they feel about you? So, whoever you're thinking of, we're going to try to key into their little secret energy and what comes out. Okay, so some of you are dealing with a Sagittarius or a person who's healthy. Maybe they could be into health, or I want to say like spiritually healthy, like maybe they're into yoga, maybe they're interested in reading or enhancing their spiritual life. This could be someone who is going to counseling, or could even be a counselor, a therapist, somebody who's in the creative arts, like somebody that's very stable, or that's their goal. It's something that's important to them. I see it as the forefront of their life right now, and they've been through a lot, and they're also very stable. So whoever this is, and they're really focused on stability, and this could mean inner stability, and it also could be home life. Like they want a stable, unhappy home. So in the past, I feel like what they've gone through is, they had a lot of love, but they've been a little bit closed off, and I feel like there's some healing that needs to occur for some of them. It could be an Aquarius you're dealing with, and it also could be a Cancer. But I feel like for some of you, this person may be putting off a healing process, or that's what they're doing right now, is they're trying to get back in balance because something took their world upside down, and they've really put off healing because we had the Star card and it was in reverse. So what is that about? Okay, it could have something to do with a baby mama, or this could be, some issues that, someone that they really were in love with in the past, broke their hearts. We had the Empress, and then we had the Three of Swords. So some of these people that a few of you could be dealing with just went through a broken heart. So they have put off doing the healing. However, they're still moving forward. They're moving ahead. They're focusing on their own stability, both mentally and spiritually. Make sure that you pay attention to that. So if this is someone fresh out of a relationship, I would say halt. Don't let them move too fast. They do still have some healing to do. We see with the Four of Swords. And they're having trouble walking away. So if you're dealing with somebody who is fresh out of a breakup, and maybe they're telling you that, they're over it, give them a little bit more time. Go with your instincts on this. So if if this is for you and that resonates, then there's a reason for that. Because if you're dealing with an earth sign, a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo, this might be somebody that wants to come in and offer love, or they would like stability, but that's not like the forefront at the moment. Not for the month of December. I think that they're really trying to set things up. Right now, they're spiritually focused right now. They're focused on themselves, I think that's, it's like making their self a priority, and not in a narcissistic way. I think they might be surrounded by some narcissistic people, though. We've got the King of Rods, and I think that, they're surrounded by this fiery energy, and, they went through a grief process, or they're healing, trying to heal others. Some of you could be dealing with a healer. You're attracted to someone who is a healer. It could be a doctor. It could be someone, a yoga instructor, or someone in the health area, and they do want a new beginning, but they're going slow, and I feel like again it's not so much. Now, some of you are definitely dealing with someone that just came out fresh of a heartbreak, and for me, I say steer clear, just because you always get hurt unless your instincts tell you otherwise. I would say give that some time if that applies to you. Because that person, whoever's dealing with a heartbreak, they're just too vulnerable right now. And, they want to let go of their burdens, and they're in the process but they just not be available. So they're throwing themselves into work. Now, for those of you who are dealing with someone that you feel is available, but this is someone you're attracted to because you like the fact that they are taking care of themselves in this spiritual, like altruistic type of manner. It's like the world. They're interested in other causes. They care about other people in the universe. They want to help. This person could be a volunteer. This is someone possibly outside of your norm, you know, but this is somebody who brings to you, they make you think about things. This is someone who is like a fiery influence, but they're slower moving than you would like them to be. At the same time, you're attracted to them because you feel like they are making you, they're like digging into the depths of your soul and making you think about things in a way you may not have done before. I think their hopes and fears, we've got the Magician in reverse in the hopes and fears department. That's right side up. It was like this. So the Magician in reverse shows me that they're hesitating to manifest in the month. This, I think this is for teen. There doesn't mean they won't, but right now, you know, they're getting over some grief and they're trying to change. This could be a person that believes in the law of attraction. So I think it could be someone sharing with you these types of ideas. So like not really cheesy, like new agey, you know, to the max. However, there's something attractive about the fact that they really, really are trying to attract things in their life, to better others. They want to help, they care about people, they care about other people in the world, and somehow they're offering themselves to the world right now in a way that is going to help a lot of people. And, you know, they want happiness, and they think that that's going to happen, or they know that's going to happen for them, and they do want that. Yeah, they're very passionate about love, and they are starting to see a new perspective. So I think, you know, in the way that you're probably bringing some type of a thing to them, just in the same way that they're bringing that to you. So if you're feeling like lit up spiritually by this person, I think that's a mutual feeling. And the outcome, we have strength, and it's in reverse. So this is someone working on their own strength right now. They've got some decisions to make. They've been conflicted in the past, but they are about to make a decision, and they're getting to a very creative period of their lives. They're making some transitions from an old community into a new community, and I think because maybe the last community they were in, they decided to part ways with. I feel like they put a lot of effort into something and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, so they've really started to consider walking away from that, and maybe it left them. That's what's probably prompted this spiritual journey that they're on, and they're more interested in giving right now. They're very generous with their time and their talents and their gifts, and they're trying to expand upon that. I think that they're stuck right now as far as making any major life changes, that they know they need to make some changes, and they might be in the process of trying to make up their mind. And just because of these changes, they have a lot of choices in front of them. So I think that they're really stepping back and taking a look at their whole life right now. And, you know, they might be a little bit stingy with their time. Maybe you're not getting the time you want with them. However, they're also in the world situation. So this shows me new beginnings. And, you know, they do want love, and they see you as a person. We got the Queen of Cups, who is full of love and everything that they want in a woman, a very seductive, sensual, kind, and emotionally present, healing type of energy, which would go right along with what they're in right now. And then we've got the Queen of Pentacles upside down. So I think that they're a little bit shy about moving forward and offering you something substantial right now, but they do see that possibility in the future. I think that if you're more social than they are, that this is something they're actually kind of stepping back and trying to decide now, you know, is that going to work? So in other words, if they're in the holistic arts and you're going out partying every night, they try to be stepping back to see, is that going to work? You know, so they're thinking about it, and they might be being a little bit stingy with their time. So we've got the Emperor, and he's in reverse. So I think if you feel like they're being selfish, I think that with their time, and they're not maybe spending as much time as you'd like, I think that it's simply because they are, how do I say? Let's go ahead and clarify that. Yeah, they see you as happy-go-lucky, and they're trying to, they not exactly be there just yet. I think that they see the potential of that, but they're just still trying to, you know, they don't want to be hurt again. They don't want any kind of failure, and they'd like to start a new beginning, but they've been hurt in the past. But they're very sexually attracted to you, and you know, they're not staying up late at night with insomnia, worrying about the past. I think they're getting past that. Some of them have a few things on their mind pertaining to love, and they don't want to be naive about love anymore because I think they've already been there and done that. So, they could be surrounded. These could be people that, they're counting their blessings right now, and I think they could have been through such a difficult time. And some of these people are like dealing with, or have dealt with addictions of so many sorts. This could be a person in the recovery kind of career. I feel like this is somebody who works with other people that have problems. And they're very passionate, but I think they sort of hide that. And they do feel very attracted to you and see potential for love with you. They don't want to have any fights. We've got the Five of Wands and Swords popping up. They've had some of these types of relationships in the past. They're very cautious about who they get involved with. They want to offer you love, and they be moving towards you, but in a very slow manner. And I think they'll be slowly but surely sharing things with you about how they feel, but it probably won't come out as quickly as you want it to. But they're not ready to give you their entire thing right now, although things do look very favorable in the future. And I think they will move towards you once they check you out. I think you could be dealing with an earth sign, some of you, a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Yeah, they're really cautious about love right now. And some of them are also possibly waiting. They're waiting for some type of answer. And I honestly think this is a spiritual answer. It's really odd that would come to me like that. But I think that some of these people are seeking something spiritually. And it's not like they're going to try to turn into a monk or a priest or something, but they're definitely, having some kind of a awakening. Yeah, they're definitely starting a new time in their life. And I do think this is someone you're communicating with or will be communicating with a lot. They like talking to you. They enjoy your company. And you might be dealing with a Libra, but this is a very fair-minded person. This isn't somebody who's out to mess with your head. Or the cool thing about whoever you're dealing with is I don't think they're a player. I think they're actually someone interested, but because they've been so heartbroken in the past, they're probably examining their own feelings about relationships right now. This may be a person who never sees themselves as getting married, or maybe, if that's what you want, then you might be dealing with a person who's a little bit more unconventional, and don't see the reason for having a piece of paper. This is a person who, may have felt like, a little bit, they go against the grain a little bit. They're not your typical, they're not your regular type of a person. There's something very eccentric about this particular person. I think they're lucky, and things are turning in their favor, and they've done a lot of traveling. And they've probably been through a lot. They've had their rites of passage, and now they're sort of ready to settle down. And they're obtaining secrets, and they're obtaining messages right now from a higher power or the spirit or the universe. And they don't necessarily want to make any choices at the moment. And, I feel like some of these people, in the past have dealt with someone that wasn't so honest with them. And they have a little feisty streak in them because of that. They might, if they are, some of these people have a sense of humor. Actually, I'm feeling okay. Some of these people are funny. You could be dealing with another. Excuse me. I think you could be dealing with another fire sign. Some of you are dealing with another Leo. So it's like you give it back to each other. You play. You're playful, bickering. But they're trying to feel you out. So if this is somebody who's funny, they're definitely pushing your buttons. They want to see what you're about. They don't like being single. They're single, but like in the end, they do want to actually have a relationship that lasts with someone. They're not as generous right now as they'd like to be, and I think that has more to do with their time. They're probably not going to offer you as much time as you'd like, or maybe, you're not offering them as much time. But right now, I feel like a lot of you, this is coming from them. They're sort of not as available as you'd like them to be. And they're really keeping a lot in because they've been hurt in the past, and I think you might be dealing with someone that just came out of a very long-term relationship. Others of you, this is someone that you've known a long time, and they are someone from your past. It could be a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer that you're dealing with. But whoever this person is, I feel like they have a lot of depth and very emotionally intelligent. They're very smart and wise in the language of love, and they really honestly, genuinely care about other people. So This isn't some self-involved jerk, so that's good. You got that going for you. But they are very smart. They're very good with their words. You got two kings here. Okay, so we got King of Cups and King of Swords. So I feel like they're going to be sharing a lot of things with you. And, you see them as a fighter, somebody who's been to battle and made it through. And I think that's attractive to you. You feel like this person has really been through a lot. And, there could be marriage in the future, but this is not I don't know. Some of you could be getting married in the month of December. Some of you might be dealing with a Taurus. But this is what's funny. Okay, here's what I'm getting. Okay, so this person is very spiritual and new agey, and they're kind of in this little quest for spiritual growth and all. But really down deep, they're sort of conservative, and they don't, maybe they came from a family that was really conservative, and now they're trying to branch out and be a little, I don't know, maybe they believe in aliens. Maybe they believe something, they believe in something that you just don't want to sit down and necessarily talk about right when you meet somebody. But I think they're exploring their more unconventional ways if they're from a family that sort of doesn't talk about those types of things. This is someone who you could be dealing with a Virgo. This is someone who used to be conservative, and I feel like, or not conservative necessarily, but maybe they really stuck to protocol. So this is somebody who in the past, this story of this person is almost similar to like somebody who was a lawyer and they went to law school, they passed the bar exam, and then they decided to, go off and become, go to India for a year and live in an ashram. This is something that people are like, what? Are you crazy? But deep down, they really have this sense of, they have a sense of law. They have a sense of religion. They do have a sense of, what do you call this? Like rituals that would be, you go take communion, you do these things. They do like that. And I feel like in the end of all this little deal they're on, I feel like in the end they actually do want to settle down and have like a normal life. So whatever they're going through right now, they're really trying to find themselves. They're on a adventure. They're looking within for their answers. So I hope this resonated with some of you. This was certainly specific in ways. And if you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like a personal reading, and we could specify that more to your exact situation, you can contact me at girlintheskytarot@gmail.com. Until next time.